I'm going to begin by discussing some of the ways to overcome nervousness, and this is something that most students overcome at some point during their academic careers and in the future. I'm going to share a few tricks to overcome this nervousness, specifically when public speaking or giving speeches like this one. As someone who gives a lot of Zoom meetings and video conferences, I did have to use some of these tricks myself to overcome nervousness as I have a lot of anxiety with speaking in general. So I'm going to share a few of those tips. If nervousness gets in the way of speaking, this can disrupt what you're saying and it can distract the viewers. So it's important not to let nervousness get in the way of that. So I'm going to be discussing 3 points. First, I'm going to be discussing how to mentally and physically prepare for speeches, how to calm down before a speech, and also some tips for keeping anxiety at bay during the speech. So I'm going to start with the how to mentally and physically prepare for speeches. So if your mental and physical state um, is not good, you're not going to be able to give a good speech. So it's important to get any issues resolved with before the speech. However, to prepare beforehand if your issues are all caught up. Um, so you want to make sure mentally that you rehearse aloud before the speech. Get a trusted loved one or a friend and practice with them. But the preferred method is to practice alone and in front of a mirror. That way you can adjust any facial expressions or body expressions as needed as you see fit, since you can watch yourself as you move. Second, for the physical aspect, in order to prepare physically, you want to make sure that you're eating a balanced diet the night before, and then also a healthy breakfast the day of. Not only will you feel more confident after you have eaten, but also this is going to give you a greater chance for success for speaking. Along with eating a balanced diet, you also want to make sure you get some kind of exercise in, even if that's just a brisk walk down the street. Exercise gives off dopamine, and dopamine is known to reduce anxiety and also give a greater chance for success. So, next, I'm going to be discussing some tips to stay calm before the speech. So, again, rehearsing aloud, if you rehearse aloud, this makes you feel more comfortable when you speak. It gives you more confidence and, again, a higher chance of success. Another way to keep calm before the speech, my favorite preferred method is to deep breathe a few times, as many times as you need before you feel calm. It's known to reduce the heart rate, so that's a great method to calm down. Also, some people find success in clenching their hands or clenching their legs and then repeating. This also reduces anxiety in the body. Um, Next, I'm going to be discussing some of the ways to keep anxiety at bay during the speech. So, the number one thing is to remember that everyone is feeling just as nervous as you are. It's highly likely that every single person giving a speech is just as nervous as you are. This is important to remember. That way, why would you be nervous if every single person is also nervous about the same exact issue? Also, it's very, very important to know the topic before you speak. If you know the content, even if you feel anxious, it won't get in the way of what you're speaking about because you're so focused on what you're speaking. So focus on the content rather than the emotions. This is also very important. If you're too focused on your hand shaking or how you feel, you're not going to be able to portray the information the way that it's needed to be able to be understood by the audience. Um, Another way to reduce anxiety is to realize that the nervousness that you're feeling, every person before you has also felt that same amount of anxiety. So, to conclude, these are the ways that I use to reduce my anxiety and nervousness when giving speeches or really any kind of public speaking. So, the next time a speech is given, you can remember some of the ways to prepare mentally and physically, how to calm down before a speech or even during a speech, and then also how to keep anxiety